This one is a fucking doozy. Let's do it. So it's Christmas time, and this teenage girl named Ashley is babysitting this kid named Luke. Now, Luke very obviously has feelings for Ashley, and he even goes so far as to try to seduce her while they're watching a movie. It's weird as fuck. So Ashley starts to hear shit outside, but then Luke's friend Garrett shows up, so they just chalk it up to it being him. But then they hear a window break upstairs, and when they go to investigate, they find this brick has been thrown through the window, and it says, "You leave, you die." So Garrett freaks out and goes to run out the front door, but then is shot and killed. So now in a panic, Ashley and Luke run upstairs, and now it's just a game of cat and mouse. So they're trying to hide. Initially, they go to the attic. Ashley falls, almost hurts herself, but Luke saves her. And then they go to hide in Luke's room where this intruder walks in this mask. But Ashley's like, wait a second, I recognize this mask. So Ashley's like, take the fucking mask off, Garrett. So yeah, it's Garrett, and the whole thing was staged. But it wasn't staged just as a prank. It was staged as yet another seduction method from this fucking 12-year-old boy to try to get Ashley to fall in love with him. So Ashley is understandably pissed at this point and was like, you need some fucking help, I'm out of here. But Luke, in a prepubescent fit of rage, slaps her, which causes her to fall down the stairs and be knocked unconscious. And if that's not bad enough, when she wakes up, she is duct taped to a chair. So Luke's being a fucking weirdo, taunting her, and then starts to try and make her play truth or dare because, again, he's a fucking literal child. But while this is happening, Ashley's boyfriend Ricky shows up. So he walks into the house and doesn't immediately find her, and the boys are acting super strange, so he knows that something's up. So Luke, knowing that he knows that something's wrong, tries to knock Ricky out, but again, he is a literal 12-year-old, and he fails miserably. So Ricky obviously overpowers Luke, but then Garrett shows up with a gun and threatens Ricky. And they hold him now at gunpoint and tie him up next to Ashley. So Luke, being the little sadistic fucking brat boy that he is, decides that he's gonna try something with Ricky. He's like, you know that swinging paint scene in Home Alone? What would it look like in reality if somebody actually got hit in the head with this paint can? So they tie Ricky up underneath the stairs, and Luke stands on the balcony and releases this paint can. But the first swing misses him, and Luke pulls it up again. Meanwhile, Ashley has freed herself from being tied up by cutting through the duct tape with a shard of glass, and now she takes the gun and goes to threaten Luke to stop. But it turns out the gun is empty, so Luke now releases the paint can again, and it smashes Ricky in the head and kills him. At this point, we can tell that Garrett is not feeling this anymore. Like, it was just a little prank at first, and now we've gone way too far. So Ashley at this point runs outside, and she tries to alert a group of carolers, but they cannot hear her over their own singing. But Luke chases her with the brick that was thrown through the window upstairs and knocks her out with it. And now this sadistic little pansy fuck continues to take it even further. So Luke calls Ashley's ex-boyfriend Jeremy, yes, that is Billy from Stranger Things, and he's like, you know, Ashley's still into you, but she wants you to come over here and write her an apology letter. So Jeremy sits outside while he writes the note, but when he's done, Luke manages to hang him from a tree, then making the apology note look like a suicide note. I hate him so much, but that was really fucking smart. Meanwhile, Ashley is completely helpless, tied up yet again, with Christmas lights this time, very festive. But now Garrett comes in and is like, okay, this has gone way too far, Ashley, I'm gonna help you out, and he starts to try and free her. And as he's doing so, Luke comes in and shoots his own best friend. The scene's actually really sad because Garrett's still alive after the first shot, and he looks at Luke and just says, I want my mom, and then Luke shoots him anyway and kills him. And then he throws a little tantrum bitch fit like the fucking worm he is. And then he goes back to Ashley and stabs her in the throat. And he stages the whole thing to frame Jeremy. This whole thing was fucking premeditated. So he goes to bed and waits for his parents to come home and pretends like he slept through the whole thing, basically, so they obviously call the police. So the police come and his mom hugs him as he gives his smug-ass little smile thinking he got away with it. But he fucking didn't. Because Ashley is a boss-ass bitch and outsmarted him. She took the duct tape that was on her mouth and put it over her neck wound, which stopped the bleeding long enough until the police got there. And the last scene is Luke looking out the window, seeing her being put in the ambulance, and she just gives him the finger, and we know that she's gonna tell on this motherfucker.